Coming up next, we'll install casement trim on this door on the at-home channel at Buildipedia.com. Hi there, I'm Jeff Wilson, and today I'm going to show you how to install casement trim around a new front door. It's a pretty simple operation, and it's something that any do-it-yourselfer can accomplish. Now first, you want to select the trim. I've got this 3 1/4 inch primed wood, but you may want to choose a different profile, maybe a narrower trim, maybe a stainable version. You'll also find composite and vinyl trim options. And when you buy your trim, make sure you buy enough. In this case, I'll be installing 3 pieces. 2 longer pieces that are a little more than 7 feet long, and then a shorter piece for the head that'll be a little less than 4 feet. And keep that in mind when you buy trim. Not only do you need enough total linear footage, but you need to make sure you have some extra to get all the cuts that you need without having to splice. We've also pre-painted our trim, so we only have to touch up the paint when we're done. Next, you want to decide how much of the door jamb that you want to leave revealed. Now this is important because it'll tell you just how long each piece will need to be. In my case, I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch of the jamb revealed all the way around. Then I'll measure up from the bottom on one side to the bottom edge of the top jamb and add the 1/4 inch. And I'll check both sides to make sure they're the same. All right, 81 1/4, 81 3/8. Now I'll cut the long pieces using this miter saw. Now set the trim on the saw table with the fat side, the outside edge, against the fence. For the left side, I'll set the angle to 45 degrees left, make my measurement to the short side, and lay the trim on the table so that the piece I'm keeping is on my left. Cut slightly long and trim to get the best cut. For the right side, I'll reverse it. The fat edge goes against the fence again, set the angle to 45 degrees right, make the measurement on the short side, and the piece I'll keep will be on my right. It looks like I'll need to cut away a bit of the baseboard and shoe mold to make this wider trim fit, so I'll mark each side of the baseboard. Next, I'll score the paint in caulk lines so that when we remove the trim, we won't ruin the paint job. Then I'll cut them to length. All right, now I'm going to install the left side first. Now I've made some marks 1/4 inch back from the edge of the jamb here, so I'll be able to line my trim up. When you get your nails in though, remember that there's a gap between the jamb and the actual framing of the door, and you want to get nails into the framing. So you want to make sure you get nails far enough back here. Run the nail to about there. I'll also get some nails into the jamb. Now we'll measure for the top piece. We'll cut a 45-degree on either end, making a V. Make your first cut on the right, then measure the length, and make your second cut the other direction like this. I like to err on the long side and then test fit the piece. It's too long, so I'll just shave off a tiny bit at a time until it fits perfectly. This might take you a few tries, but getting the right fit will be worth it. Okay, now that we finally got it cut to length, I'm going to nail it in place. Then we'll get this ready for touch-up paint. We'll use a nail set to recess the nail heads first. Then we'll use painter's caulk to fill the holes, corner joints, and between the trim and the wall. You can also fill any joints you may have along the baseboard where we had to cut those back. Finally, we're ready for that touch-up coat of paint. Well, it's just another job knocked off my honey-do list. I'm Jeff Wilson. Thanks for joining me, and come back again to the at-home channel at Buildipedia.com.